Hey North Coast, this is Connor, your community service pastor, bringing you the daily dose. In my household, there's this phenomenon. It's kind of interesting because not only are my wife and I dealing with a pandemic, but we're actually watching our kids go through it. And so I'm interested always, how are they processing? How are their little minds thinking about this? What they're going through? Are they feeling it? And sometimes my heart as a parent is like, oh, they're probably feeling this. And so the other day we sit them down and we're like, hey guys, we got some news. We're gonna have to tell you something. And they sit down and we're like, you know how you loved being on Zoom calls last year and how that was so much fun? And they're like, yeah, we hated it. We're like, yeah, well, school next year, it's probably gonna be a lot of that. And I'm just feeling as a parent like, oh, this is gonna be devastating, and maybe even some tears. And I think one of them was like, yeah, boring. All right, let's go watch TV. I'm hungry. And he just moved on. Like, do you understand what that means? Like, your mom's your teacher, I'm your principal, maybe your teacher. We're both horrible at that kind of stuff. Do you understand what that means? How come you're not more anxious about this? And it occurred to me is that that's not the household they live in. Is that even though we have anxiety, even though we're stressed, that's not a place they live. And because we're not like that, they're not like that. It reminded me of a time when I was little and I lived up in the mountains and I was afraid of the dark. I'm still kind of afraid of the dark. I don't know if I've put that piece together until right now, so don't you got some ammo on me. But as a kid, I was deathly afraid. I would hold my pee at night for hours and be afraid to step off the bed. And finally, I would like leap off the bed, run down to the hall to the safe zone with a light, pee, click off the light, and run back to my bed and like jump in there and just cover up and cover my head with stuffed animals, like 30 of them. And that was a safe zone. And one night, being up in Sonora, California, the darkest, scariest woods to me at the time, my dad would say, hey, let's go for a night walk. And so for whatever reason, I said, oh, okay. And I'm just this little elementary school kid, and he takes me out in the woods, and I remember clutching onto his hand so tightly, but we walked and saw the most amazing stars. You see, I was terrified, but I had comfort because of whose hand I was holding. And I love that picture that even today, when I'm stressed, or even today when I'm anxious, or I'm hearing bad news again, is that I can have comfort, not because of how I feel, but because of whose hand I hold. And so I'm gonna read you a verse, and I just love this. My dad gave this to me, and I feel like it's just one that I've held on to during these times, and it's in John 14. It says, and I'll give you a little bit of the context. As Jesus talking to his disciples, they're going to betray him. Peter's going to deny him. A few days later, he's going to get killed for us. He's going to be crucified, and he's wanting to comfort his disciples. And he says something that just hit me so hard. He says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I don't give as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." The thing that just stood out to me so much is, as a kid, my comfort, my peace was based on whose hand I was holding. But now my comfort and peace comes from who's living inside of me. And so I love this picture now, that even if you're anxious or scared, that we can have peace, that we can have comfort because we have the peace of Jesus. A peace that guards our hearts and our minds, like it says in Philippians 4. And because of that, I don't have to be afraid. Because of that, I don't have to live the same. Is that I can have that peace because of who lives inside of me. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.